Bayad na po.
Time to raise it up. Let's go. Filipinos, where you at? Pinoy Lakas. Back yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You know we rolling in that Jeep now.
You will always be beautiful in my eyes, and the passing years will show you will always grow ever more beautiful in my eyes. There are lines upon my face from a lifetime of smiles. When the time comes to embrace for a long last while, we can laugh about how time really flies. We won't say goodbye, 'cause true love never dies. You'll always be beautiful in my eyes.
Happy anniversary, honey. I can't believe it's been a long time since I become teary. When I remember through the years na you're always giving me a card, remember that? And I always get upset when you don't give me one because I collected them. And every time I read your card, I always cry. And it's been a long time since I have this feeling. How many years, Nani?
So explain to him what we're celebrating today.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, it's not really our wedding anniversary, but it's actually our
Meeting
anniversary when Doc was just in the 30s and I was in the 40s. For some of you that doesn't know, I'm 10 years older than Doc, and we never talk about it because people doesn't even believe that we're that years apart. But it was fresh in my mind, right? That day.
In some ways, it's very like just yesterday.
Yeah, it's actually our first meeting. There's so many good memories. Actually, it's a trials because we almost didn't make it because I'm not a good driver to begin with. I always get lost, so I don't know direction. So when Doc and I actually go on our first meeting, actually I get lost, and we actually kind of like say, oh, are we going to do it? But the first day that we meet is actually that I hate to talk about is in that with Stephanie, right?
Right. They're talking about the attempted first date. If you count today, it really wasn't a date. It was a date when we met. Mm-hmm. So the day started out, it was a Sunday morning or early Sunday afternoon. And I lived in Buena Park, and Ludi still lived in Azusa. And my patient for probably a couple of years had kept reminding me that she had somebody she'd like me to meet. And so this time I just said, well, why not now? Because I had gone through some, dating was different then, but it still was challenging. And so I was ready to meet somebody new. And so she finally said, okay, why don't you all get a place for us to meet? And of all days, I probably only saw my mom and dad maybe once a month at that time. I was, in my early 30s, working my career, and they were retired, and we're all doing our own thing. But of all days, they chose that day to come by and visit. And I already had plans to go meet Ludi. And so they'd come walking down the sidewalk, and I'm coming out the front door of my apartment. And my dad, of course, said, oh, yeah, go ahead. And my mom was like, oh, we came all this way to visit. And I said, well, you're going to have to come back some other time because this is important. So anyway, we chose to meet someplace in Anaheim that I always tease Ludi affectionately, and I won't go into that end of the story today, but
I don't want you to say that, please.
No, we're not going to say it that way because I know it irks you. But anyway, it's little place in Anaheim, and I think they might still even be there. And this is 29 years ago today.
They call
So
it
Sugars.
1, 2, 3, sugar.
So
Sugar.
it's a little place, and you walk in the door, and you don't see right into the place when you walk in. You have to come around a corner. And so I come around, and Ludy's standing over by the pool table, and with Stephanie, the lady who introduced us. And I always remember she had a black and white check. I don't know what you call those outfits, shorts, kind of one-piece shorts with the suspenders.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a mini skirt suspender.
And I wouldn't call them go-go boots, but they're knee-high boots. And so, that was my first introduction to how she dressed, which was pretty unique for me. But anyway, she's like looking up at me like, oh, she just kept going, muttering to herself like, oh, he's too young, he's too tall, and stuff. So, but we hung out there for a little while. I remember playing Garth Brooks on the jukebox. I don't know, it was Friends in Low Places or one of my favorite
That's your favorite song,
Garth
too,
Brooks songs. And then we went out for kind of our first, I would say, date, but we went to, of all places, Sizzlers. So, and that Sizzler has since burned down, unfortunately, but we went there, and that was my first introduction to how Ludy likes to share food. So, and she always does this to this day. She'll say she doesn't want to eat. So I'll order my food, and the next thing I know, she's eating more than half of my food.
No,
So-
their food. No, he's not telling the truth. I only want his burnt side of his toast.
Okay. Anyway, that makes for a good story.
Well, do
Anyway,
you want me to tell them I was scared to order because I don't really know who is Richard before? Because Stephanie didn't tell me who is Richard. He just said somebody wants to, she wanted to introduce to me to his friends, to her friends. And actually, I was worried that this guy has money to pay for our lunch because I don't really believe woman is the one to pay for her lunch. So I was thinking about, do you think this guy has money to pay for my lunch? So I said, like, in between that, I'm worried about that, but I don't really eat a lot. I don't really eat a lot. And so I was just saying, like, can I just have some of your salad?
she was, here, Ludy is 10 years older than me, but she was more like a teenage girl when I first met her. She was so, for most of you know her, she's not shy, but she was kind of giggly and nervous. And of course, she didn't know what directions from one side to the other of her hand. I think, so our first few dates were really pretty trying because we would try to meet somewhere and she'd get lost. And so one time I had to just get in my car and drive like miles and miles to meet her and then come back to my apartment. So, but it was all, I think it was all meant to be. And I, just kind of had a newfound feeling that it's just something seemed right and it was worth all the initial anxieties about getting together with her. And so, I mean, we didn't know that each other was going to be our partners for life at the earliest moments. But
Well, do you remember I was trying to hide from you? Because Richard will keep on calling me that want to have a second date. Actually, the reason why I don't want to date him anymore is that because the next day, my neck is hurting. And I said, what the heck is going on? What did I do? Why is my neck hurting? And I keep on thinking I didn't do anything. I know I was working hard in Sears before. And then I realized, oh, I know now. I told Stephanie, because I keep on looking like this, looking at him because he's so tall and my neck hurt.
and she was quote unquote 5 foot tall when we met.
Yeah. And
Now mysteriously she's not even 4'10".
hey, I was
But she's not wearing tall heels anymore either. So
well, I was really 4'11" before. The doctor is the one who even told me that I am losing my height because of my neck problem. Do you
Yeah,
remember
I know.
that?
I just like teasing you about it.
Yeah, and then yeah, and then the ages start to shrink down, and I remember uh, those years that actually you when you call, you actually have your Uncle Mo with you and you use him so I can talk to you guys. It was like, oh, somebody died in my family. You
Yeah, that
say,
was unfortunately
it's,
bad short period in my mother's family's lives. Right after we met, I had lost an uncle. Um, Probably my Uncle Mo was pretty close to this uncle, and he died. And then 3 weeks later, his son died in an accident. And so, I felt like I couldn't make it really back for the first funeral, but I thought, wow, I have to go back for this. I mean, that one too was just so unheard of and so painful. And so that was only like 2 or 3 weeks after we met, and so I had to go back, and I felt like, whoa, I don't want her to feel like I just kind of disappeared. So I called her from
because you're a
like that.
gentleman.
So most of the time,
And I'm glad that I actually able to talk to you and your uncle because I find out that how wonderful and loving is Uncle Mo. You remember that, Emel? Uncle Mo, right? And Auntie Pearl. They're one of the loving people in Richard's family. And up to now, I still regret of not having a long distance communication with them because they live far away. And then until they moved to Las Vegas, and they all like getting so sick. And but we're going through a tough time that time too, right? So, but again, I'm so happy that I was connected with Richard family because there are the family that I never had. They love us so much, especially my kids. They're always so proud about my kids, no? That's why I fell in love with Richard's family because of that, you know? Not only caring for me, not they care about my children because that's more important to me. And I respected Richard because I remember that time that when we were dating, Richard will tell me that you have to call your kids or you have to go now. You have to go home because they're waiting for you. Remember you told me that?
right?
You're worried about them.
I knew the importance of not being the person that stepped in between that relationship. So, not that I'd ever. I had dated other women that had one kid, but usually they were little children and something like that. And so, but never got really that far along in those relationships where I had to consider long term. So,
And there's a lots of kids too.
I
You have a basketball team right
got
away,
I
right?
got the Brady Bunch times two.
Yeah, I remember I was dating another guy before. No, not dating. Actually, I didn't even know that he had another intention besides being nice to me. That actually, my kid is the one who chooses Richard, and that guy is actually a millionaire. But for my kids, that's not important. They like Richard than that guy, you know. But he's nice. I can complain, but they thought that that Richard is more deserving to be around, and he's very fun to be around. And I knew that the kids will have so much fun with him, you know. And I have fun with him. We do a lot of things together, and he loved to sing, and he always sing every time we're in the car. Right? And we go dancing, and that's why he tricked me. I thought that he's gonna be forever partner for my dancing, and then back problem become a problem. But we're doing good because not only on those fun times that we're doing that, we become connected. Actually, we love to do a lot of things together, like including gardening, huh? And choosing things for the house, like our first Christmas tree. That's memorable time that
Mhm.
I remember that the kid was just little, and they go with us to buy our first Christmas decoration at Walmart. No, ni?
Target.
Target. Oh, that was Target. Yeah, the Target. He had a good memory about that
Mm.
stuff. But I remember what happened. But the name of the place, I get confused with Walmart and Target. Yes. So it's a good memories, and there's so many things where up to now we're still doing things together. We're partner in crimes.
Mhm.
But our favorite things is like to go to collect rocks and buy plants. And
Yeah, that's a
Richard's
whole
love
that's a
of
whole nother discussion.
doing lawn mowing, right? Doing lawn mowing in your garden. Lawn mowing for him, and I'm doing the gardening for flowers and stuff like that. And I'll never forget about Richard being the rock of my kids, especially with Melanie, Mervin, and Mark, because Michael was already old and he was doing his thing already, dating and going to the military. So Mark actually, even though he's the middle child, he lived with us too, no ni?
Mhm.
And then they actually have so much thing in common about when it comes to doing music. Not only Mark, even Mervin, they connected. So I'm very very blessed, because I think the secret of our relationship is because we are content of what we have. We dream, of course. Dream is free, and we dream big because it's free again, but we never break about like getting upset if we don't get things, because we live in a world that what we are happy what we have, right ni?
Mhm.
We always say that we go out and do go out and just have our lunch together, and we share, and then we bring our own food most of the time. So we're okay. We don't really watch movie. Richard likes to watch TV in the house, but he likes to watch with the kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He chooses he doesn't know what I really like. So he let me choose what I want. But most of the time when he choose the colors and stuff like that, I like his choices of colors. You like colorful stuff, honey.
Mhm.
Yeah. Kenny, so what do you think is the secret of our relationship?
uh, I think it's just that we enjoy each other's company. We spend a lot of time together, so I mean, it's not always perfectly rosy, but we, all in all, just like um, whenever one of us goes first, it's going to be really hard for either one of us because we've
Don't
spent.
make me cry. I always said that I wanna go first because I know that
We're both
my
going to go at the
kids.
same time because
Yeah, I think we
women
should.
outlive men anyway. So you just can't go too early. I'm not ready to go yet.
Yeah, it's kind
So
of like scary though, because my health is a little bit up and down, but we try to be healthy. And I just noticed that I'm not me anymore. People think that I'm younger, maybe looks, but my body is starting to feel different now. But I never make that stop me for what I'm doing, and what I'm doing that I love actually. So I wish that my wish is from even before that, the kids will be in a good place, like they will be stable. So I will be more secure, that I feel better, that I know that they're doing well, that I will see them more closer to each other, right? That's our wishes, right? For to see them get together, get along together, huh? Yeah, because me and Richard will always say, like, no matter, I'm gonna cry. No matter what life throw on us, the trials, the journey, the up and down of what going on in our life, that we can make it as long as we're together. Right?
Well said. So, anything else you remember from that day? Probably not.
Yeah, we went to the beach actually, right?
That was the next date.
That was the next day.
Uh-huh. We were supposed to meet in the same place, but I sat there and sat there, sat there.
I think we're meant to be together because when they said that there's no perfect person, so when there's a lot of trials, when you see somebody in their low and high, when you were able to accept that, that's mean that's the right person for you, because you could, whatever happened, you will always have the gut and the love that you can forgive that person. So we've been through that, you know. So we're not rich, but we're rich with children, and we're rich with love, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So for you guys who's watching this, the only thing I could tell you is that don't be in a rush to find the right person for you, because when you're looking, you're blind. Okay, so let that happen. It will come naturally, and when you met that person that make your heart beat, Mervin actually told me that uh, something like breath took that breath away. How what is that word? It's measured. It's measured by the person that take your breath away. Something like that. It's actually in my Facebook, because I actually posted that because I remember that day that Mervin told me that, so I put it right away in Facebook. I'm not talking sweet stuff like that, you know. I'm not fancy in words, so I actually captured that moment right away. It's measured by the person that take your breath away, something like that. Right, Ni?
I don't know that song.
No, it's a song.
No, I know.
It's a saying. It's a saying. And the funny things that when we get married, after that day, our first date, actually, the meeting and the first date, things actually is history, because we build our relationship, and up to the time that we get married, and up to now, we're still here, right? Yeah. So we actually going out tonight. We're gonna get a pre dinner, either items or free stuff. So we're simple people. A lot of people think that, oh, we dress up nice, we're always at the party. We're not really always at the party, because we choose the party that we go to. We're always at the party when Mark was still alive, because me and Doc always support Mark and Mervin, actually. But other than that, we're very choosy on the places that we're going to, and we enjoy little things anyway, so we're okay, you know?
Yeah, I would say
Yes, and I want to thank Richard for the many, many years of putting up with me. One of the many reasons why our relationship actually survived is that he always make me win when there is an argument. He said, like, always make the woman win, because that way everybody's happy at the end, right?
that. Thank you for recognizing that.
I know. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. I'm the like Micah said, I'm the lioness in the family, because my dad raised me to be that way, to have pride who I am, because I never I remember I never want to ask favor to people, only to my family, especially only to my kids, and even to Richard. I don't really want to ask him a favor, not unless I can't really do it. So outside the family, I don't really want to ask favor, and I don't utang. I don't believe on utang. I don't believe on borrowing money. You're gonna lose all your friends, you know. So me and Richard, even though we don't have money, we already think about like whatever we have is what we have, and we need to enjoy that. So guys, always remember, make your woman happy by making her win on any fights. What are the other songs that we like, ni? I think I have more of what I like. It's like it touches my heart. It's like uh the Never My Love, huh? Never My Love is one of my favorite song. Of course, our wedding march is the Color My Word. We're gonna talk about our proposal before we become a real couple, when Richard proposed to me, and it's actually next month, right?
No, I proposed to you
September,
on
October, yeah, October
February.
19.
No, our anniversary. Yeah,
Yeah, our
I
anniversary is
proposed on
coming
Valentine's
next
Day.
October 19. You know, the kids are always having that fun memories. They always sing uh, sing for us. You will always be.
Yeah, the kids know our wedding song by heart now too.
Uh-huh. And then we have the picture frame that sings that, and then as long. And I remember, I hope I can find my wedding video. Do you think we can find it, Ni, so we can release it, we can show it to them? Because you can see that actually Michael, when he was walking down the aisles with me, Michael was nervous, and his teeth is like back teeth before she had a back teeth. And then Melanie was so tired holding my bouquet and the flower. And then my Mark, I saw that when I went to the stage on I was actually came up
We should
and
be saving
fixed.
this for our
Yeah,
next
fix my my
interview.
tail. What is my train, right? See Mark?
You're leaping
He
far ahead.
came and fixed my tail actually. And Mervyn was so adorable, was so cute. and Jasper, huh?
Jasper's
Those
2 years
people in
old.
my wedding, there's just whoever in my wedding is the most important people in my life, so you're gonna say that. I hope we can find that video actually, right, me. And we will talk about our, well, after that in February, because when Richard proposed to me, it's actually February, and actually it's Valentine's Day. So I'm trying to get Deacon Santi and Ate Virgie, and also Elena Lapid Salonga. Elena and June, you're gonna be my guest. Hopefully, you guys can make it, because we have a beautiful love story. June have a good love story about Elena, no? When they were just elementary, actually.
Yeah.
They puppy love. That is so cool. So, last month is actually my daughter's wedding anniversary. So, Melanie and Tony, shout out to both of you. You're one of my favorite couple, and also Ellen and June. And we could learn a lot of things, not only to adult couple, but we could also learn from young lovers. So thank you to all of you guys, especially, of course, my kid, because they are the most core in our life. That me and Richard, the most important things in our life is our kids. Right, me?
Hmm. So, what do you want to say in closing?
Uh,
Remember,
we are not only I care,
no,
but we care.
be
Well, you know what, guys? We keep on actually. Oh, I sorry. Mervin told me not to touch anything, and that there's something itchy in my in my shoulder. That in a couple of September, October, November, 3 more months, it's gonna be 2023 is gonna be over, and I praying that everything will go back to the normal thing. And I just want to remind you, since we're gonna do our episode on our what happened to us on June. No, I think it's May, right?
May.
Yeah, it's a lot of trials in our life. It's that's one of the thing beside the first one is losing my son Mark on 2020, and then actually last May on Memorial Day. It's really hard. So we actually, Mervin and me and Richard, we're gonna do an episode for that one. So you guys can help us, okay? And I'm praying that Mervin's health will be better, whatever he's going through, and his foot, that and his shoulder, neck. A lot of my kids has that back problem too. And all our health will be restored, beginning with Richard, me, and the kids, because we need to have a healthy body. Okay. And again, I want to say thank you so much for too many years that my husband was there for me to thick and thin, especially when it's come to teen. Han, thank you so much. I know I don't really say that much anymore. I don't know. I think before every day, almost every day, we said that. But now it's hard. I don't know what's missing there. I think we should start doing it again. Before, Richard doesn't go to sleep without me going in the bed with him. Now we're getting old. He fall asleep in the couch, and I go stop and run to upstairs and try to get some sleep. But it doesn't mean that we're forgetting about how much we care for each other, because the feeling is still there, never less. I think it's getting more stronger because of what's happening in our life. It become more stronger. The love and the compassion is more stronger than ever.
And thank you
Thank you.
for bringing fulfillment to my life.
Love you, honey.
I love you too.
Yay!
So
So
always remember,
be human,
be
be kind, be humble all the time. Bagyo forever. Yay!
Pinoy Lakas.
Thank you, Mervin. We love you. Thank you, mga
Thank
anak,
you.
mga apo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Pinoy Lakas!